I'd like to share with you a piece of a speech that I gave a few years ago where I was addressing a community of Christian evangelical friends who were commemorating the Holocaust. And the third part of a larger speech that I gave to them when I was given the opportunity to talk, I focused on the phrase, never again. And there at the commemoration ceremony, there were people holding up signs saying, never again. So it was perfect for this object lesson. And I wrote the speech and I shared it that day and I put it in my computer file, never to be heard from again. Only recently did I pull it out, the speech, and shared it with some friends who said, oh, you need to put this online. So I want to share with you what I said that day and what I still think is a continuing and enduring message, a meditation on that phrase, never again. Here's what I wrote and said. After the Holocaust, Jews and friends of the Jewish community began embracing this phrase, never again, as a simple slogan to remind ourselves and to remind the world that never again will the Jewish people be thrown into cattle cars. Never again will we be murdered by the millions. Never again will we be deprived of our human rights. Never again will we be deprived of our chance to worship God. When we say never again, it is a call to our current generation and to all future generations to be on vigilant guard against perpetrators of anti-Semitism. That is the obvious meaning of the phrase. But the phrase never again actually has a much deeper meaning in the Jewish community. Of course, we mourn the loss of 1/3 of world Jewry during World War II. Never again. Of course, we mourn the loss of 1.5 million children. Never again. Of course, we mourn the loss of an entire theater of Jewish and cultural life in the world. Never again. But for the Jewish community, the phrase never again carries with it an important message. The way we believe we will remain safe and the way that we are guarded against future outbreaks of anti-Semitism, against future bigotry, against future intolerance, is to be obsessed about combating bigotry and intolerance, not just for our community, but for all communities. So the Jewish community has made a decision that in order for us to be safe, everyone must be safe. This is not just a Jewish community value, it is a holy value. And therefore, never again is not a phrase singled out for the Jewish community alone. When we say never again, that means we will fight prejudice and bigotry of any oppressed community. We need everyone to feel safe and secure and welcomed in our communities. The Jewish community supports our Christian friends and their right to practice their religion freely. Their security is our security. The Jewish community lifts up our Muslim neighbors, who are often the punching bags of our national media, some politicians, many church pulpits. When our Muslim neighbors are seen as threats instead of friends, when they are dehumanized instead of uplifted, the Jewish community responds with friendship and love, as we would have wanted during our difficult times. Their security is our security. The Jewish community fights for the rights of immigrants who are so often marginalized and stereotyped and disregarded, as we once were. Their security is our security. The Jewish community supports our friends in the Black community and Asian communities who are often still targets for discrimination. In Genesis, we are taught that God made all people B'Tselem Elohim, in God's image. If so, then all people are endowed with a spark of the divine. And to treat people differently because of the color of their skin is to desecrate the name of God. Their security is our security. The Jewish community is a committed ally with our friends in the LGBTQ plus community. Their struggle for equality and recognition is a just fight rooted in love. Any discrimination they face is a desecration of holiness. Their security is our security. The Jewish community recently finished our celebration of Passover. And in the course of that meal, the Seder that we eat at Passover, we are reminded of a wonderful biblical text that says that we should not treat an Egyptian unkindly, for we were once strangers in the land of Egypt. How strange that one of the enduring messages of Passover is that even though we were redeemed from slavery in Egypt, with that redemption comes responsibility to care for all those who are oppressed and victimized, even the Egyptians themselves. Never again means never again for anyone. That is how the Jewish community internalizes this one lesson of the Holocaust. And so I would ask you to join me as we move forward on this day, not just in commemorating the death and the destruction of all those who perished, but in fighting for the rights of our current friends and neighbors, lest they too become victims on our watch. I thank you, the community I was speaking to, for commemorating the Holocaust. I thank them for their support of Israel, and I thank them for hearing the message that never again means never again for anyone. May we be partners in bringing about a world redeemed. Thank you.